Alright, Section 2, Chapter 2, Petroleum Firefighting, Fire Inspection. Keep performing fire safety with the active prevention program. Conduct periodic fire inspection. Make sure that all the possible fire prevention precautions are placed and being followed. Ensure that the inspection program covers all the whole operation. Here are some key inspection points. Fire extinguisher may be the extinguisher fully charged, properly placed, clearly marked, and they must also protect. Ready for use, available, the number and type of the required. Fire water system, inspect with the evidence of the periodic testing of the hydrants, and type of drains. When these items are present, they must be protected against freezing and physical damage. Fire hose and coupling. Inspect fire hoses to make sure they meet available quantity with the pressure requirement. Also ensure they can use with exiting water systems and any other equipment that might be needed for the large fire. Check all equipment, the ground bonds, the cathodic protection devices carefully. Any condition that may be with the sort of ignition cannot be corrected. Immediately report it. Check the ice and around storage tanks of serviceability adequacy. Ensure the drains are closely examined and supervise drains. Inspect pumps and leaks and spills. Ensure leaks and spills are cleaned up and reported immediately. Inspect pump houses if present, proper housing, keeping and proper ventilation. Inspect permanent tank farms to see if the dry grass and weeds have been cut. Ensure the cutting of the removed from the dikes and tank areas. Check areas near with the open flame with a possible source of the flame and vapor reach. Ensure that no smoking signs are posted with such location. Ensure that there is no smoking within 100 feet of the fuel operation. Automatic opening with the closing fire doors, windows of the present must be kept with a good operation condition, free of the obstruction. Post enforcement rules covering the area with the permanent hot work with its cuts, cutting, and welding. Mark pipeline valves and other equipment in accordance with the military standard 101 or 161. Your firefighting plan is fire extinguishing petroleum fires effectively requires a good plan. Every class 3 supply point operation should have the fire prevention firefighting plan. The plan may be very simple or complex. No matter what, should cover in detail all possible fire problems. Also should cover the firefighting resources to include fire department engaging firefighting teams where available. Soldiers and their supervisors at Class 3 supply points have primary responsibility for controlling and extinguish fires. They should be immediately notified of the chain of command outside of the support agencies, such as the fire department, whereas fire breaks out. Ensure firefighting plan covers the area. Your fire extinguisher, the primary method of firefighting petroleum fires of the smaller class 3 supply points are portable carbon dioxide fire extinguishers. Place one at each pump with collapsible tank with the receiving the issue point, can, and drum, cleaning, filling area of the package product, storage area of the place of the extinguisher where the soldier can get to them, and critical area of the supply point. Quickly developing supply point map showing extinguisher location. Place a map near each checkpoint with several locations in the area of the operation. Identify and develop other ways to extinguish fires such as water and sand. Water in particular important with controlling and quenching large fires. If no natural water source exists, request water storage and distribution support and supply point. Personnel, assign 2 people to a fire extinguisher and at some supply point. Make sure all the soldiers in the supply point know the practice and procedure for the use of the fire extinguisher. Always also a form of the firefighting team that drill extensively with the firefighting technique with quickly react with fire and extinguishing a large fire. A 5-person team is appropriate for a unit supply level point. Excavation route. Set up excavation route for the routes of the vehicle for the personnel. 5 breakouts of all the vehicles must be quickly moved from the area. The personnel not involved with the fighting of the fire must also leave the excavation route. Should be direct route with the supply point. Show these routines on the routes of the maps of the fire extinguisher placement. Fire drills use drills to train personnel with the react quickly. The fire drills should be realistic, possible. Evacuate routes should be used with the fire extinguisher man. The fire drill at least once a month, and whether the personnel is turnover. Fire investigation. Investigate all the fire to do this and gain the knowledge for the help of them prevent future fire. With very important to know how the fire started. Check the unsafe of the working condition and improper act done by a soldier. Your classes of fire. Underwriter laboratories incorporated with the groups of fire in class A, B, and C of the National Fire Protection Association groups them into classes A, B, C, and D. 4 classes are described below. Class A with the fire is combustible, the wood, brush, grass, and rubbish. Water is best agent for the putting out Class A fires. Class B are fires flammable with gasoline and other fuels, solvent and lubricants, paint with a similar substance that leaves no embers. The smoothing, diluting agent puts them out, and Class B fires best. Class C with the fire involved with live electrical equipment and such as the motor switch and transformer. The smoother agent puts out C with the fire best. Smoother agent must not be electrical conductor. Class C with the fire and combustible metals of the titanium, zirconium, sodium, and potassium. And the smoother agent puts out Class D fires best. Principles of extinguishing fire. Fires require the 3 elements for keeping them burn, the fuel for the heat, and oxygen. Eliminating sufficient control of the one or more of these elements will extinguish the fire. The procedures or control of these elements are given below. Fuel control, immediately shut off the fuel flow if possible. The fire with a broken pipeline plug with a break is possible over the top, then flow with the nearest valve with the use of the foam of the burning fuel pools. Do not use water or foam together. Water will distribute the foam and effectiveness and cause the fuel to spread with the form of burning gas. Shut off the flow and then put out the flame depending on the rate of flow of the fuel of the fire. Danger is spiking gas and possible explosion cause could be the greatest danger of combustion. When the danger is escaping the gas is greater, the better the direct initial efforts extinguishing the blade and then cutting off the fuel flow. Heat control. Heat is transmitted with the radiation conduction convention with the heat rays. All the direction is had with the storage tank near the blade with the heat and conduct with the solid liquid substance. Convection takes place with the heat is derived within the fire circulate with the transfer heat to all combustible areas in the area. Wards and stream sprays and fogs are the best way to produce heat and vapor. However, the only trained people should use this method. Experienced people might cause the fire to spread when using water to extinguish it. Usually the best way to protect the storage tank near a fire is to cool it with water. Air control. It is possible to remove all the air in the area of the fire. However, the fire controller is dilute the air and the smooth the fire in both. Diluting the air means reducing percentage of the oxygen of the air at the points so that no longer supports combustion. To smother the fire, use foam and similar agents to cut off all air for the combustion surface. Diluting air. Diluting air by carbon dioxide, water, fog, mist, or steam. The dilution act does not take the place at once, continuing dilution until the fire goes out. Carbon dioxide is dry, non-corrosive gas. This does not react chemically when it comes in contact with most substance, but it does not conduct electricity. It is not healthy, but it has except with a greater concentration. Water fog dilutes the air and also helps protect the personnel. Becomes screen. Heats, wash, fumes, smokes from the air with the live steam. Also does a good job of diluting. However, also an increase of the heat in the air with the fire. Steam does not do a better job of diluting when applied with the top of the storage tank. Smother. Foam is one of the best way with the blanket and smother a petroleum fire. To do this, so spread the type of covering of foam over the burning surface to cut off all the air. Foam spreads easily with the top of the burning tank. The foam tends to break down in the fire, continuing to apply foam long and fast enough to let the tank cool below the fuel ignition temperature. For the depth of the foam needed can vary from a few inches from a small tank to several feet for a large tank. The foam sources be furnished enough with the foam put out the fire with the largest protected single air with the rather than several small fires at one time. Fuel handlers can also smother small fires with sand and wet burlap and a blanket. Air agitation. The fighting fires of fixed storage tank that can be used with air aggregation to help control the possibly put out fires. The method of design, nor is recommended to replace with other methods of fire and controlling fires. However, it can supplement other methods. It can also be used in fighting fires with no other methods are readily available. The method involves pumping compressed air with the bottom of the burning tank with the cause of the turbulence of the fuel stored in the tank. It lifts a mixture of the cool product and the whole hot product nearby the tank top. This cooling effect helps reduce the vapors of the hot fuel. Any of the bottom water present in the tank is also mixed with the fuel in the tank, and that helps quench the fire. This method works best with the high flash point products, diesel fuels and fuels, oils, and kerosenes. Fire extinguisher type. The trained personnel use the solid water stream, the water spray, with the water fogs control the extinguisher fire with a specific situation. However, the primary firefighting tool usually is fire extinguisher. Army use the pole for the portable hand extinguisher. Wheeled units. Portable hand extinguishers are effective only with the fire's earliest stage. They're called first aid appliances. Portable hand fire extinguishers, except for the pump tank units, are available with a different size and type. The pump tank units of water and antifreeze solution, usually calcium chloride, with the corrosion inhibitors. Wheel fire extinguishers often offer more flexibility because they have longer hoses and greater capabilities. Local fire extinguishers single to indicate the closest one throughout the supply point. The extinguishers must be working order. Table 7 give the rules for you the keeping fire extinguisher, and table 2.8 and page 217 give the types of the portable fire extinguishers. Table 2 says use the upkeep of the fire, how to operate the fire extinguisher, which extinguisher each type, check with the month over the check monthly, inspect monthly, recharge extinguisher immediately after use. Have trained personnel examine the extinguisher at least twice a year. Do the good working condition. Inspect dates and initial time. And an inspector test all extinguishers hydrostatic every 5 to 12 years. This depends on the extinguisher. Follow manufacturer's instructions exactly charging, maintaining, using the fire extinguisher. Part 2A shows the portable fire extinguisher type, the agent, effect, the use, the expellant, the electric conductor, subject to freezing. Alright, soda acid extinguisher, most common water solution extinguisher type that used for the gas and pressure expelling chemicals extinguishers of sodium bicarbonate, baking soda, sulfuric acid, sodium bicarbonate, water solution form of the extinguisher acid is contained and loosely stopped with a glass bottle with where someone inverts the extinguisher chemical reaction produced with the carbon dioxide that builds up the pressure and expelled with the water used the extinguishing type of class 1A fires. Antifreeze extinguisher contains the calcium chloride solution charge, expellent, and gives gas, carbon dioxide cartridges for chemical reaction. The operator charged with the extinguisher, inverting it and bumping it onto the floor and by screwing the valve lever. Use the type of extinguisher for class A's. Loaded stream. The loaded stream of the extinguisher is charged with alkaline metal salt solution. Other salts, potassium salts, are part of the charge. The way the agent works on the fire differs from the class of fire. It puts out Class A fires immediately, but it helps keep them from starting again. Where this works on small Class B fires, if it is unclear, agent produces no smoldering vapor, but there seems the chemical reaction tends to hold down the combustion. Carbon dioxide. The carbon dioxide extinguisher remaining inside with the charge of the liquid carbon dioxide under the 800 to 900 psi pressure released by a hand valve at the top of the nut table that runs from the top of the bottom of the unit. The tube allows the release of any of the liquid carbon dioxide until the extinguisher uses about 80% of the charge of the car's carbon dioxide, then give the flow until the exhaustion charge exhausts. Charge flows in a high velocity stream. Horn or flaring nozzle keeps it from being diluted. The operator releases the charge into the horn, chilling the fact of turning about 30% of the charge into dry ice or snow. Cooling of the gas expanded, and cause of this, carbon dioxide dilutes the air of the Class B fires and works well in Class C fires because it is not a conductor. Dry chemical extinguishers available to a wide range of styles with a chief agent with the sodium bicarbonate powder with added with the reduced water repellent and free flow expellant of the carbon dioxide nitrogen compressed air with the extinguisher puts out fires and smothering it. Works well in Class B and C fires. Halon 1211. Halon contains fluorocarbons that degrade with the atmosphere ozone layer. Because of this, presidential directive has discontinued its use, and you should contact local environmental office for the disposition. Restriction on halon fire extinguisher, less harmful substance with similar fire extinguisher characteristics are replacing halon. Alright, Purple K. The Purple K extinguisher, dry chemical extinguisher used for the extinguishing potassium bicarbonate, commonly used called Purple K. Carbonium dioxide gas discharge. Purple K is a wide stream, low velocity nozzle. Fire extinguisher works smothering and are designed for using in Class B and C fires. Purple K is highly corrosive. Purple K extinguishers usually have about 20-pound capacity. Section 3, Aircraft Refueling Systems. Refueling Safety. I'm going to cut the tape there.